Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mania 4K World Cup 2025. This is the second, or I guess I believe the first block has already happened, and second block of this entire weekend for the round of 16. This is going to be an exciting one to have because this is the first winners bracket match for the day, and it's going to be, I believe, Thailand versus Vietnam. I'm Mifa, and I'll be commentating alongside Potassium. How's it going?
I'm doing really well. Really excited for this match all weekend long. This is the winners bracket here. Both of the teams winning out their matches last week and very close in seeding as well. 7 versus 10. So on paper, a close matchup.
And it has been, I don't know, we've been through a lot. We've been through this before, and back in what 2 years ago when this matchup has ever happened in round of 16. But it's literally the same round they have been facing in, and this just feels like a deja vu to me.
Yeah, both of these teams kind of rising in kind of skill level over the same period of time. Really feels like a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, both of these teams really started to break in and start reaching those like top 6, top 4 kind of placings. Thailand even getting podium last year as well. So some really, really strong tournament players on both sides. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I do think, from how the tournament's played out so far, Thailand does seem to have the edge in the rice picks, at least so far.
Yeah, I do believe that Thailand has been showing that there are a lot of rice proficiency, and more of the same goes towards Vietnam. Although in the lower half of the pool, at least hybrid and Longland should be their main game towards to face against Thailand. But Thailand's LMs are, or at least the lower half of the pool has, they should be fairly comfortable if they have the right roster or the right weapons to tackle through.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what ends up happening here. LN1 being the protect from Vietnam makes a lot of sense. Vietnam has been crushing in some of these hybrids and LNs so far in the tournament, both in qualifiers and last week. And as I said before, kind of they probably don't want to be facing up against some of the team scores that Thailand was putting up last week.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be scary. And oh, okay, Thailand protecting Black Knife or the Core Jack pick, I should say. It's it's all right. Does protect? I wouldn't be opposed to it. I figure that Thailand protecting Core Jack is kind of a one-off thing against Vietnam. Vietnam's Core Jack players are relatively it's like relatively competitive.
I always think whenever a team protects a core jack pick, that's like, it's such a power move because it just shows how confident, how extremely confident you are at Rice accuracy and consistency as well. Because in theory, Rice 3 should be one of the more risky picks to pick into a strong team like Vietnam, but Thailand, they're just that certain that they're not going to miss, I guess.
Yeah, they don't want to miss. And apparently, yeah, Vietnam opting to ban Winnipeg, or I guess the tech thing, I should say, given Thailand has been, well, absolutely monstrous in tech picks, I guess, in the last round too.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here. And we'll see Vietnam getting the first pick. Will they go for their protected the LN1 right away, or are we going to see maybe, I would think a hybrid also suits as a first pick well as well.
They should be. Okay, they're actually picking the other long node pick that wasn't protected. Should be fairly straightforward. Vietnam having to pick this against Thailand should be, it should be fine for the most part.
I've been having a look on the side, a decent amount so far, looking for some names. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I was slightly concerned because there were some names that I was seeing that were not online that were quite important for both teams. But it does appear that Trader One is here, so important player for Vietnam.
Yeah, I guess arguably one of the most important Vietnamese player in this tournament. Trino has been the sole, like, if they're not missing, they're gonna be one of those reasons that Vietnam has been carrying through a lot.
Yeah, I think you do see Trader On play pretty much every map, at least for the past few years that I remember, on Team Vietnam. one of those players that has very, very high accuracy potential and also just physicality as well. And Vietnam, definitely a team that kind of switches out their third player a bit depending on the map as well. Thailand has been rotating their roster this year a surprising amount, so it'll be interesting to see who plays on what map. But typically, historically, we would expect Pavin and Konkawa to play every map.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Pavin and Konkawa has it's just the main two carries of the Thailand members. We didn't see Pavin play at round of 32 either due to for unforeseen circumstances, but hopefully this should be able to back up the third player, whatever Thailand's having.
Yeah, I mean, I was interested in this as well. Pavin, I was talking about this with you earlier, just before the stream, but Pavin only played 3 of the qualifier maps as well, which I'm not sure what that exactly means, but Pavin, I would think, should be, in theory, Thailand's strongest player, or at least one of their strongest players, for sure, in pretty much every map. So we'll see how this one goes. Both teams, I think, pretty excellent LN lineups for both of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Matcha Latte was also pretty strong on their own, but gotta be careful because if you're keeping track with the qualifier stats, Matcha Latte hasn't been performing as well as you would expect him to do. But I guess on density, it's just a different kind of chart.
Yeah, it seems like this is going to be maybe Lot versus Pavin or Konkawa for the accuracy here. Matcha Latte just needs to keep up with the third player on Vietnam. And of course, any miss could prove to be quite fatal here as well, as it's not a very long map.
Getting out of that intro fairly well for both of these teams. Not really. Trito has already missed that section already.
Though we're counting that as a curse. Trito on missing early on. It is before the 400 combo mark, but it is going to require maybe Thailand to find a miss at some point as well, because now Thailand also with that accuracy advantage off the back of the miss. That said, Tritoan's accuracy is catching up to Matcha Latte's pretty quickly.
Yeah, actually accuracy has been gaining for Thailand members here. 99.7 being the lowest, which even though Vietnam has all still around the same average accuracies, it's still eerily close given that accuracies.
Yeah, a lot of Vixile both hovering around that 99.9 range, but Pavin and Konkawa both with the highest 2 scores in the lobby right now. Not that much difference separating the teams accuracy-wise, so it is really just that difference between that one miss from Matcha Latte versus Trito1, but Matcha Latte finds a miss, and that one's going to be more significant than the earlier one. Definitely going to go over to Vietnam now.
Oh, this is going to be a very close one. 2,000 points, just under that, actually. Accuracy is going to tank a little bit. Konkawa dropped to below 99.9. It's going to come down to grit of the teeth here.
Oh, it's flickering back and forth. 200s could matter at the very end of the map.
Oh my god, hang on, no way.
Vietnam managed to take their point by 300 at the end.
By the skin of their teeth, 2 B1SS across this lobby. This is actually 3. This is not right.
Extremely close scores. We can see Pavin getting the MVP, but I mean, 2 ridiculous scores on either team. Just the one miss apiece. Tritoan's miss just mattered a little bit less in the end.
It's one of these games again. You really can't say anything.
And that was their first pick. Thailand now, they get the rebuttal. Going into the rice pool, you have to imagine, straight into the Osu original.
Oh boy, this is spicy. I really like this. I really like this chart too, and how it encompasses the skill set involved for Thailand. This is pretty much Thailand's walk in the park for this.
And I am excited to see one of the players that I haven't watched yet directly, but so far in the tournaments, I've been seeing some ridiculous scores coming out from Achi on the side of Thailand, a newer player to the MWC lineup.
I'm genuinely fairly surprised to see Pavin is not playing this one, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, we have been seeing Pavan switching out for a few maps so far this tournament. I guess wanting to focus more on the LN and hybrid maps, Pavan is this tournament. But it seems like Matcha Latte might be staying in for Thailand, and Vietnam is going to be switching out Vixile with Nachumi-chan.
Yeah, this I believe Nachumi-chan hasn't played in the round of 32 either, so this is a fresh perspective. Apparently Pavin's back in, so replacing Matcha Latte in this case.
Okay, Pavan says see ya and then comes right back.
Alright.
We were all baited.
Jebaited. This is I'm just concerned about the prospect of, you know, when Vietnam's performance in round of 32, it has been mostly misses from Trido, and that has been anchoring the score way down, and it should not have happened.
Yeah, just having a look at some of the qualifier scores here, Nachumi-chan did play in the qualifiers specifically for stage 6 and 7, those harder Rice maps as well. So maybe that Rice specialist player coming out from the Vietnamese side.
This is a bit of a long one, and you would expect to see nothing happens during the first 30 seconds of this.
Oh, don't say that.
No, I'm just saying, all right?
So no one is going to miss here then, right?
Surely.
But it does definitely get quite a decent amount harder towards the very end. We might see some fireworks at the very end, just like we saw in the first map. But we'll see if before then, maybe if Thailand hopes to eke out a bit of an accuracy advantage in the meantime. Oh my god, what is Thailand's accuracies? They're all 99.98.
Hey, wait. This is 400 notes in. Alright, it's going back down a little bit.
These snaps are not ratioable snaps.
I guess you can cheese it somewhat just to hit it as a plan, but it's just, I don't know. These players are just easily handling it.
I mean, even on the side of Vietnam, the lowest accuracy in the whole lobby right now is 99.84. So still within the tiniest margin of difference between the two teams right now, as Lot and Tridoan both on that 99.9 as well. And I can't believe we're still seeing two 99.97s on Konkawa and Achi.
Well, yeah, it's just like I said, it's just really kind of a dozing off if you're not careful.
And it's such a, like, in this situation now, the song sounds so tense, but Nachumi-chan finding a miss in that kind of slower section in the middle.
Not exactly slowest, but it's just the burst. The bursts are really hard to nail through.
Bursts sometimes are just the hardest when there's no patterns around it, you know?
You're hitting those to nothing, basically.
Yeah. But that is going to be a nice lead here for Team Thailand, going into the 10,000 mark, it looks like, before Nachumi-chan reaches that 400 combo. Just reaching there, and Vietnam now need to hope for some big mistakes on Team Thailand, but they're looking so solid. Actually does drop the accuracy down to 99.92, but can you really consider that an act drop?
No, I don't think so. Konkawa, at the very least, is stable around that obscene accuracy. I don't know why he does that.
I'm not looking at Konkawa's screen for the rest of the map. I'm avoiding my gaze. 12,000 points and counting as this accuracy lead just grows over time.
Yeah, this part right here is just climax theory. It's just really hard.
2 full combos down from Vietnam, still 3 on Thailand left up. Trido the only full combo, and that's looking like Thailand going to secure their point convincingly. Achi does find a miss, a pretty messy one at that. Another really messy one. Wait a second.
Whoa, that's gonna cut down to 20,000 to like 11 now. I'm not sure what happened at the end.
That was a huge set of misses from Achi, dropping from 99.9 down to 99.5. But a bit too late in the map for Team Vietnam to really capitalize on it. And oh my god, Konkawa. Disgusting.
83 and 122, 2v1 double S's. Actually, yeah, Achi's drop must have been very dirty at the end.
All of those judgments, all 4 misses, 350s, 100, and at least half of the 200s were at the very last section for Achi. So messing up on one of the bursts and just kind of like losing the reading ability there at the end there. But shout out to Tritoan as well on the other side, getting the FC 996.8k is a massive score for them. But overall, as the team, Thailand looking very strong on the rise.
All right, Vietnam's Protect being picked now. I mean, it has been a reason to protect this, so I just don't find there's any problems for Vietnam in this case. Although Aragami was a little bit sketchy.
Aragami was close. Very, very close. So we'll see. We might get a similar kind of performance out of the two teams again. Obviously going to see some switches coming in. I expect maybe Achi to switch out for Thailand. But Vixal coming back in for Vietnam as well.
Yeah, I believe like switching out Matcha Latte instead of having Achi play this one in particular should be at least a good substitute. But I'm not entirely confident about that.
Have we seen Achi play LN so far this tournament?
I don't think so.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because I don't think Thailand really played LNs almost at all last week. It was almost an entirely Rice battle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't Rice, and every single Rice, the roster has been all Rice. Actually, yeah, Matcha is coming back now.
Yeah, it actually does kind of strike me as like a Rice specialist player, like one of those players that you would just have for those picks in particular. But Matcha Latte maybe a bit more well-rounded overall, skill set-wise, so that being the roster that we're seeing for Thailand on the LN. Vietnam sticking with the same roster that won that first pick.
I mean, I think Vietnam is going to have to stay in with these 3 main players at the very least, because it has been shown that their Rise roster is also at this similar style. So the 3 same players at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, last time on the LNs we saw Lot and Vixal get some extremely high scores, Tritoan just messing up at the start, so if Tritoan can kind of clean up on that mistake and maybe get matched Lot and Vixal's scores, which I know he can, then I do think Vietnam's team score might be consistently a little bit better than Thailand's here. Even though, of course, Konkawa exists.
Well, wait, hang on. Yeah, so under 2 minutes, which you would assume that any mistake could prove very costly. But this is also like one of those long-term picks that you really can't just autopilot all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. And you say mistakes are costly, with the level of difference we're seeing with the accuracies, which is not much at all. A single mistake pretty much loses you the map, you would have to imagine, unless the other team trades it. And so far, out the gates, Matcha Latte struggling a little bit with the accuracy, but Vixal dropped a little bit of AC as well, so it's pretty much tied.
Yeah, not having the strongest starts but at the very least, the other 2 main carries of in this entire lobby at the very least, holding around a similar one.
Yeah, 3 players on that 99.9, but 2 of them on the side of Thailand. So it is flickering back and forth a little bit. Tritoan and Vixal still have very strong accuracies themselves, and Matcha Latte continues to struggle a little bit. 99.68 is a bit behind the rest of the team.
Meanwhile, the other 2 Thailand members is trying to offset the difference in between the accuracies, and it's paying off a little bit. But Vietnam seems to get
big drop there.
Oh boy, okay. Vietnam is having a little bit of a buffer for that.
And yeah, this is a short map as well. We're already in the last quarter. The denser section already kind of mostly over by now as well, and 5,000 points in the lead. Vietnam just need to hold on to their combos.
I mean, it's still pretty densely packed for the ending.
It's getting a little bit close. 4,000 points, it looks like it might be shrinking a little bit, but it should be all fine as long as nothing drastic happens in this outro section. Vietnam just managing to squeak by again. Triple FC this time, a really, really strong team score.
This is Pavin's third V1SS. Okay. In this entire match.
Yeah, why was Pavin trying to leave the lobby earlier? What is he doing?
I have no idea. He even MVP'd like 3 times already. 3 out of 3.
Stay in.
Good morale boost for the very least for Vietnam. Great job for hanging on to that composure. So no LNs though after this. At least you got hybrids for that.
Yeah, I mean, Vietnam still should be feeling pretty comfortable in the hybrids as well. They have been extremely strong on those hybrid picks as well. I think getting number 1 on one of the hybrids last week also.
Oh, actually going for sort of, I guess, dumb, kind of. It's sort of that vibe.
Yeah, Thailand picking like the least straightforward picks first, it seems like, in the Rise pool.
Apparently it's almost just as long as the Oso original.
Yeah, the longer ones, I guess, as well, might be a good idea for Thailand also to try and flex their accuracy that they've been showing. I wonder if Vietnam decides to switch out any players. Obviously, they do have quite a few players that can be playing some of these Rise picks.
Yeah, they can, but there's also that one particular skill set that we haven't seen so far, and it's Thailand's Protect, which maybe Vietnam could switch out one of the players for that core jack pick.
That is going to be a spicy pick whenever we get to it, because that one could definitely go either way. But for now, Thailand looking to try and win the vocal dump battle. It seems like no one's switching other than that switch for Achi on the side of Thailand.
Yeah, no other switch-ups happening except for, I guess, the occasional one substitute for Thailand. So it's just the same players in the lobby.
We'll see how this one goes here for Thailand, looking to keep things tied up. This map a little bit more consistent when it comes to the difficulty as well, a longer one of the Rise maps here.
I mean, you would expect to, I guess, given how this chart is structured heavily around those dumps, it should be not having too much of an issue in ACK at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like anyone's having an issue in the ACK so far. The lowest accuracy right now, 99.86 on Lot and Vixile, but definitely not too far behind anyone else. This is only a 1,000 point lead, but Vixile actually finds the first miss of this map. Dropping down to 99.7, that's going to give Thailand a bit of a buffer.
Quite a bit, actually. Achi's, yeah, a little bit beating out a lot in this case. So everyone in Thailand is just beating out every single player in Vietnam, other than maybe Tridon Gaming, which is also catching up to Pavin.
Yeah, Tridon's still holding in, managing to match up to some of Thailand's accuracies, but the overall level of Thailand seems to be a little bit more comfortable. Lot and Achi now actually with pretty much the same accuracy as well, so it is just that miss on Vixile that's doing most of the damage.
Oh, actually, okay, there's a miss on the Achi side.
Oh, that's a big miss as well. Look at the accuracies. Achi now below Vixile in terms of AC. And it's only Konkawa and Pavin's accuracies now are the things that are keeping Thailand in the lead. 99.94, 99.93, just a little bit higher than their counterparts on Vietnam.
If you have a keen eye like the previous pick from Thailand before, Achi's miss has been not the cleanest, but it could have been worse. And this is one of those cases again.
Oh, but Tridoan finds a miss as well now for Vietnam. Archie does find a bit of an act drop at the same time, but the miss is definitely going to matter a fair bit more.
It's a 2v1 in terms of FC, so it's still, theoretically, still in Thailand's favor.
Yeah, it's not really widening the point lead very much, though. The accuracy is looking for quite strong overall for Vietnam.
200 from Achi there. It's kind of getting dangerous because Achi's hitting late.
Yeah, actually kind of running out of steam, it feels like, as the map's been going on, but still managing to keep it together. They just need to hold on to the combo now. 4,000 points seeming like it might be enough at the very end of this map.
We're reaching out to the end of the chart. Hopefully nothing
Once
goes
again,
bad.
I do not look in my top left.
Wait,
3,600 points, really strong. That's
2,998, almost. That's illegal. 3v1 double S's. That should not have happened.
And this is why Thailand has been fielding Konkawa and Pavin for every map in the past few years of MWC. Absolute, like, impossible duo on this team to overcome at times here. And actually, despite the misses, still holding up strong enough to maintain this advantage for Thailand. They managed to win it by a couple thousand points this time.
Pavin remains to miss anywhere. And this is just the 4th map already. Vietnam has to pick carefully now. The 3 hybrids could be poisonous to one of them. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting down the list now of the lower priority maps of either of these teams, and it kind of feels like it's dangerous at this point as well. Hybrid 1 coming out should be a strong one for Vietnam, but then again, so far I don't think there's been a super convincing point for either of these teams so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far the only point, the biggest point difference is just the OSU original, like 12,000 points. But that's like a one, like, I don't know, misread or something. That's really hard.
That one felt like it was going to be a comfortable win for Thailand, but then it got weirdly close at the end of that map as well. So really anything it feels like could happen now. Both of these teams going to need to try their best to avoid some of these slip-ups that have been happening on their own picks. So now we'll see if either team can win a break point in these next couple.
I don't know. This is just... I could not picture that for most, I guess for both of these teams playing hybrid, because this is just around the difficulty of qualifiers, and you have to expect to be able to V1 double S or near V1 double S in that to be able to beat Thailand or Vietnam in this case.
Yeah, this one's going to be an interesting one because you know Thailand can play these hybrids just as well as Vietnam as well.
This is fairly fast as well. Kind of don't want to misread somewhere in there.
Yeah, 230 is really punishing if you do find a bit of a missed pattern. Going in and out of some of these Rice and LN sections interchangeably as well can be quite tricky sometimes. But so far, all the players doing fairly well. Slight advantage to Thailand, it looks like so far. Vixal does drop a bit of accuracy down to 99.6.
I'm nervous seeing these LN releases because it could be 200s without you knowing.
Yeah, you do have to keep the AC up. Machalata does drop in accuracy a little bit, matches Vixal, but that's a... Whoa, is that a disconnect?
No. It's beyond 30-second rule here, so I don't think it's going to be I don't know, maybe like what? Maybe a restart or something? I don't.
No, I think that was much too late for a restart, unfortunately. We're already halfway into the map right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, it probably wouldn't matter that much, given this Vietnam's pick anyway.
I mean, this was very close. This was basically tied at the point of the disconnect. We'll see what ends up happening at the end of the map, but Trito-1 does find a miss, and just such an unfortunate looking situation for Thailand. This could have been their point potentially. Especially, I mean, look at the left side of my screen. What like, Konkawa and Pavin, I don't even know, man.
Is the streak going to be up for Pavin for V1SS? This is potentially the 5th, maybe.
I feel like if Thailand was if this MWC was a 2v2 tournament, Thailand is just like, I don't know what, the best team in the world or something.
Yeah, well, it's very close to that. I would imagine other tournaments that involve using 2v2, Thailand, Konkawa and Pavin is just drive for that. Yeah, apparently, no, that's not a V1SS for Pavin. Yeah, alright.
1-200 washed.
Alright, actually...
But V1SS for Konkawa, actually, and Trito-1 getting just the clean 1-200. Let's have a look at how these scores would have gone. I think with a decent score from Matcha Latte, that definitely could have been going over to Thailand.
I mean, Matcha Latte has around, when they disconnect, they have like a 99.7, and potentially could drop.
Yeah, well, it seems like it was a full-on disconnect, so probably will be the point going over to Vietnam for sure.
Yeah, so it is not gonna be a retard anyway. Vietnam will take the point. I mean, I wouldn't say it convincing, but otherwise, if Matcha Latte was able to finish the map, and it probably could have gone closer.
Yeah, well, I think even if he finished the map, the Pavin confirming that it was a lag spike means that his computer probably froze or something along those lines, which would have, at the very minimum, resulted in a gigantic bunch of misses.
Yeah, now Thailand's picking their protect once leaving out in the middle of the match. So the only picks left are just the 2 Rise and the 2 Hybrid picks, which it could be scary either way.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a scary map to be played at this situation as well for Thailand. They are 1 point down still.
This is the point where Vietnam could have a 1 rotating member, because this is a core jack pick, and if you're not capable of handling ratio in core jacks against Thailand members, this is the best time to have a rotation.
Yeah, sometimes you see some team structures where there's just one random player on the team that's just a core jack specialist. That'll just come in when you least expect. But it does seem like these two teams don't have anyone like that. They're just comfortable playing their main rosters either way. Achi, of course, coming in for one of the Rice picks makes a lot of sense for Thailand. But that said, Achi has been finding some pretty significant misses in some of these Rice maps. So if that does happen here, it's another really short map that could be enough for Vietnam to take a breakpoint.
This is a very important point here for Thailand, and Thailand needs to get that. Apparently Trito missed at the very start. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it does look like the combo is lower than the other players, so maybe just a bit slow putting the hands on the keyboard at the very start.
Yeah, apparently accuracies across the board are just what you would expect for a core jack pick, other than the top left. I don't know.
I mean, some of those bursts at the start of the map are definitely not super easy to get high accuracy on, especially not so high into the 99.9s like we're seeing on some of these players. Lot and Vixile still keeping up with the 99.9s themselves, and Trito-1 has actually recovered quite a lot from that earlier mess up at the start of the map. Even though it was a miss, it's not going to affect the score that much.
Yeah, at best it's just about 2,000, 3,000 point penalty to that. Just if you get like a full combo around this parse, it's just probably like around minus 2,000 to that.
Yeah, and we can see it's already at 99.9 for 3 to 1. That ratio must be like actually outstanding for 3 to 1 right now.
Apparently accuracy is increasing, which I guess this is the part that it doesn't have burst in it, so you would expect to gain accuracies right here.
Still only 4,000 points. This could swing very quickly either way, but still, so far the ACK lead for Thailand.
It's just getting bigger. Honestly, the actual ratios in this are just not. It's just not good. It's not looking good. Yeah,
3 to 1 does find a miss. That one's going to matter a whole lot more now as we're getting into the 5-digit difference between the team scores. And wait, whoa! 2997! Oh,
29,
man.
29, 41, 52. Apparently, Pavin has the lowest score after all of those maps given. I'm just... this is not fair.
Oh my god, the 999k average for Thailand. That's why they protected this one.
And by protect, it's a convincing win too. The ratio is, I mean, you could argue that the score difference might not be that as big as you want it to be, but keep in mind hitting these with sharpshooting skills like Thailand had, it's just almost unbeatable. Maybe a couple teams could do that, but not for Vietnam here.
I mean, you might say like 1 or 2 teams could do that, but will they, you know? I don't think any team can confidently look at that and say, yeah, we'll beat that. This is an absolutely insane performance. I mean, that's why they protected it, as I said.
Vietnam will pick Igaku. This is scary. Igaku is the weirdest hybrid to ever like grace in round of 16.
Oh, interesting to pick Igaku now. So they're going to be ignoring Hybrid 2 in that case.
That would absolutely mean Hybrid 2 or Virtual Resort being potentially ignored if Thailand doesn't pick that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Hybrid 2 will be ignored. I can't imagine Thailand ever picking Hybrid 2 in this match. And this is going to be Vietnam's last pick.
They could prove us wrong. We have been kind of complacent about the picks for Thailand. Apparently, they didn't win all that convincing throughout all the picks, except for maybe one of them, like Korjak, like we saw.
But I can definitely imagine, given how weird this pick is, or how weird the map is, I should say, maybe a bit of a targeted pick, trying to see if Matcha Latte might find some struggles getting good accuracy on it as well. That could be Vietnam's avenue to win one of these.
I'm just hoping that potentially the issues are resolved on Matcha Latte's side, because it really sucked to really having a disconnect at the middle of the match where you couldn't have anything to recover from that.
Yeah, Thailand just kind of have to shake that one off, pretend that nothing happened in that Hybrid 1, and try to win it from here because it's still tied 3-3. Either team could take the win here. And still no breakpoints despite how close it's gotten several times.
This is also fairly short. Again, mistakes are costly, and you kind of don't want to have a complacent view anywhere in this chart.
We're going to be seeing some low accuracies on this map compared to the other ones, of course, because of how, like, looking at some of these snappings of the notes, just, I don't know how you're supposed to time any of them, honestly.
Yeah, you just kind of have to pray that you don't get a 200 anywhere on this, which is kind of a tall task.
It looks like Tritoon's actually dropping the accuracy a little bit, down to 99.5, and in fact, everyone in Vietnam dropping down to 99.7 early on. Still Thailand, their top 2 batters are performing like this is just another map. 99.9 just about for both of Pavin and Konkawe.
This is just another map. That's what a bold statement to make.
5,000 points, the accuracy definitely in their favor on the side of Thailand, looking to try and win a breakpoint. but not a very long map. We're halfway through already.
Tridon regained their footing, at least trying to beat up against Machalate's accuracy right now.
But Vixile does drop, so does Machalate in the accuracy department, that is. So slowly some of these accuracies are starting to fall lower and lower. But guess who isn't? Pavin.
I mean, hopefully we don't get to see anything weird happening at this ending here.
Yeah, Vietnam hoping for a miss at this point, because this accuracy lead is just growing by the second.
I'm not sure what happened there.
What's going on here? I was wondering whether that was my internet or not.
Checking MP
Link. Client.
Oh, wait! Huh. Vietnam won their pick!
Wait, how?
What's happening? I'm
what
so
happened?
confused. Vietnam won by 3,000 almost.
So at the very end, looking at the MP link, Matcha Latte missed 3 times in the last 150 notes. And that was enough for Vietnam to win.
Oh, so Pavin did save their score, but Matcha Latte did have a miss at the end too. So Pavin still has their score intact, but Matcha Latte's ruined the score a little bit, and Vietnam's taking that potential match point here.
Yeah, Pavin and Konkawa both FCing 995, 994k each. But Matcha Latte did miss a few times, and Vietnam triple FC'd.
This is the one that I'm scared that I really don't want Thailand to pick that. Because this is Jump Stream, and as far as Jump Stream goes, both of these teams are nailing it in the previous match.
Let's see how this one goes. Thailand now relying on a tiebreaker coming out.
Even before the start of this match, I was just having a tingling sense of deja vu that this is gonna happen, and apparently this is potentially correct. I just don't know what to say.
It looks like we might be seeing Nachumi-chan coming back in for Team Vietnam. And Achi, of course, coming in for Thailand, swapping out the players for the Rise picks.
This is a very, very important here for Vietnam, because if Vietnam is able to take this one, and Vietnam is going through to the quarterfinals winners bracket. But that is, of course, it's a tall task because you're fighting against Konkawa and Pavin, which are the two main carries. And Achi as well can be handling like a lot of the stuff from the Rise picks.
This one, we have to expect is going to be in Thailand's favor, but that relies on no one missing as well.
Yeah, a miss is just you're just crying in your bed, pretty much.
Yeah, hopefully no incidents happening like some of the last 2 hybrid maps as well, which have felt somewhat internet focused somehow.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, not so much of an internet for the previous one. It's just leaving way too early because from the client there's a bit of a delay in that. So most of the players should stay in a little bit longer than they should have been.
So let's see how this one goes. This is the last of the regular picks. If Thailand manage to win this, we are going to a tiebreaker. But if Vietnam win it, then it is going to be them pulling off the upset against Thailand in the winner's bracket. And this one, perhaps Vietnam's best opportunity to do so as well. I don't think they want to be going to a tiebreaker if they don't have to.
Yeah, Thailand having Konkawa and Pavin are the main front runners here. It's just You would expect to having a lot of. It's just two best accuracies at this point. Lead is not that big as I would expect it to be, although Nashimi-chan has a bit of below 99.8.
Yeah, Achi and Lot both kind of tying each other's accuracy right now. Trito are matching kind of Pavan or Konkawa's accuracy also. But Nashimi-chan a little bit behind, down 99.8 right now. That's giving a slight 1,000 point lead. But this one definitely going to be... Yeah, more of the consistency stamina aspect is going to start kicking in, so maybe some of these players might find some mistakes as we get later on in the map. The stamina starts wearing out as we go on.
Leads kinda grow a little bit larger towards Thailand's side, just around 2,000 when it was before like a 1,000.
Oh, and actually finds a miss!
Oh no! Wait!
Down to 99.8 as well. That's going to give Vietnam the lead at the halfway point. Still 3 full combos on Team Vietnam, but that's enough to give about a 1,000 point lead to them. The accuracy is actually whose favor right now? I can't even tell. But
it might be in Thailand's favor.
Yeah, if Achi manages to get this accuracy back up, I think Thailand might be able to take it back in time.
But they really need to make sure Konkawa and Pavan having the much larger distance in terms of accuracy, because right now it is on Vietnam's edge right here.
1,000 points at staying consistent in the side of Vietnam in this ending section. If Vietnam just manage to hold on to the accuracy, they will be able to close out the map.
About 1,000 point rise in this final jump stream.
Oh, and it's so close. Achi needs to bring up the accuracy, but it's not looking like it's happening fast enough. This lead is staying consistent right now.
It's actually going to shrink a little bit.
Oh, down to under 1,000 points. We're looking in the hundreds right now in the last few seconds of the map. If there's any 200s, it could flick towards Thailand.
Oh, yes. Actually, it's got a lot.
No, it's getting smaller, but it's 116 points. Vietnam avoids the tiebreaker.
Oh my god, Vietnam won it at the death. Trito is getting rid of 250s out of nowhere, and it was not enough to tip the lead over to Thailand, and Vietnam won it at the death, 5-3.
Actually, incredible team performance here from Vietnam. Triple FC on the last map to prevent. And that is the first break point that we see in the match as well at the very end.
It was sketchy because the moment Vietnam losing their footing on accuracy, I thought it was just gonna tip over to Thailand, but it was a couple seconds longer. It could have gone to Thailand at that case.
Even like 1 second longer it looked like at the end there. But it will be Vietnam managing to scrape on by so many points in their favor. They will proceed in the winner's bracket and send Thailand down to be a raid boss down in the loser bracket.
Yeah, very, very well-deserved victory there for Vietnam. Taking to win finally against Thailand, like just before that we've seen like in the 2023 where Thailand triumphs over the tiebreaker. This time, Vietnam's moving through. And of course, Thailand is a scary opponent in the lower bracket, so you would expect Thailand to, I don't know, just manhandling a lot of the opponents in the lower bracket.
Absolutely. I would be terrified for anyone in that position right now because Thailand are going to also get stronger throughout the tournament, you have to imagine. But for now, that is Vietnam looking terrifying themselves and going through this winner's bracket so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just to show a little bit of an appreciation that both of these teams and a lot of the teams that have been participating in the tournament, don't forget that we have banners in store live right now, so you can go to O-Store and purchase the support banners for all the teams that are participating in this Mania World Cup. And of course, it's a pretty it's not pretty much not that expensive for sure to be buying like some of your favorite team banners, which are you're going to be supporting. And of course, if you can stack banners as well, so your profile picture would look really cool when you do that. So especially all the precision that purchasing those banners will also provide some fun in the pool as well. So you do need to check that out for the OSA store right now.
Yeah, go check those out. And in the meantime, we will have about 3 hours of a break before the next set of matches coming up here. Going to be Finland versus France coming up at 13 UTC. So until then, we'll be on a bit of a break, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. This is me, Potassium. We're signing off.